Hey all you Simonites, Simon Simaan, owner and broker of the Simon Simaan Group, right here in beautiful Orlando, Florida, Volume 2, with Mr. Taylor Young from Erb and Young Insurance, and their logo, you know what it means? Be extraordinary. And we're nothing but extraordinary, especially in real estate and insurance. I brought you the best insurance market. Taylor?
Why is it such a mess, Simon?
You tell me, you're the pro.
Look, Florida's a great place for a lot of things. I mean, you want to live here, you want to retire here, you don't have a state income tax, but it has some challenges when you're buying property insurance. You have these things called hurricanes that hit every summer. And why do hurricanes drive insurance costs for Florida homeowners? Well, what happens is these insurance companies buy something called reinsurance, which is simply just like we buy homeowners insurance for our home, they buy reinsurance for their insurance companies. And what that does, that transfers those big catastrophic risks like hurricanes often to another big conglomerate, okay? So why does that matter? Well, what happens is reinsurance rates for insurance companies have gone through the roof. Over the last 5-6 years, you've had major storm after major storm hit the coast. You've had Matthew, Michael, Irma, you've had Ian. I mean, you could go down the list of major storms, right? So what that does, it drives up costs for these insurance companies to buy what's called reinsurance.
So it's an insurance and insurance. It's like the movie Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, there you go. And those reinsurance policies have deductibles, right? And then after a certain amount, they pass it off to that reinsurance carrier. And they have to have reinsurance. The state of Florida requires a certain amount of reinsurance. So basically it thins their margin because now that reinsurance is more expensive, it's more challenging for them to make money, and they have to pass it off to the consumer. So reason number one, reinsurance costs have almost doubled, maybe even tripled for some insurance companies over the last couple of years.
Crazy.
And then you also have just a ridiculous environment for litigation, which Florida is known for, in hotbeds of Miami, Tampa, and now up here in Orlando. When a claim is filed, let's say it should be a $5,000 claim. A little pushback from the insurance company, next thing you know, an attorney's involved, ends up being a $50,000, $100,000 claim. And so the amount of times that's happening, a crazy statistic in Florida is that in the entire country, Florida property claims represent about 8% of the total property claims for the United States. Makes sense, right? Big state, big hurricane threat, so 8% of property claims come from Florida as compared to the US. It's something like almost 80% of Florida property claims lawsuits, so the amount of lawsuits that apply all come from the state of Florida. So there's a ridiculous amount of litigation in property, and there's a lot of responsibility and parties to blame, but until legislation makes the environment a little bit more conducive for some of these insurance companies, that cost is going to be passed off to the consumer.
What can we do as consumers? Protect ourselves.
What you can do as a consumer, one, work with an independent agent. Whether it's somebody like us that has multiple options. I think we do a good job, but there's a lot of great agents out there that can help, that represents multiple different insurance companies. We've seen company after company rise and fall and rise and fall. So some companies will stand the test of time and make it through this volatile environment. Typically the longer tenured, better funded, quality insurance companies. And then you'll have some that continue to go out of business. And we're seeing 2 or 3 insurance companies a year either leave the state or go out of business. So it just means that you go with this array of options to more limited options. And sometimes that means it's a little bit more expensive.
Somebody once told me the most expensive insurance is cheap insurance. So if you want the best quality insurance, contact Erb and Young. They're my guys, and I refer them out to everyone I know, including all my clients, family, and friends. Hey guys, every home has a story. Let us tell yours. But before we end this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button on top, and stay tuned for volume number trace. Until then, let's go.